Now we will look at the VIACOM SWOT analysis. SWOT stands for Strengths, Weaknesses, Opportunities, and Threats, where strengths and weaknesses are internal and opportunities and threats are external. Strengths for VIACOM include multiple target groups, international reach, the high return on equity, unique reality shows, their creative advertising, as well as their organizational culture and their employees. This is especially important because VIACOM can reach a wide range of people in every age group and every culture. Their weaknesses are that there are no sports channels, which is a main factor for success in this business. They have very high debt, which means high interest rates and high interest expenses. They do not try to fight the substitutes, which is an issue because the TV industry is constantly declining while streaming services keep making profits. They also have a high debt to equity ratio, which is similar to the high debt problem I talked about. And their management is very old and does not seem to be very good. Their opportunities are that there is very little product differentiation, so by extending their market, they could gain a lot of revenue and subscribers. There is a worldwide market, and there are multiple target groups, so with different shows, they could reach different target groups. There are high market entry barriers, which means they do not have to fear new companies coming into their market and being competitors. There is new technology they could be working with, for example 4K, but also virtual reality is becoming more important. Digital media streaming would be an opportunity for the company, as well as services entering into new borders. For example, the internet is becoming available over great parts of Africa. Threats for VIACOM would be that there are substitutes in digital media streaming. I already talked about that as an opportunity, but it's also a threat because a lot of competitors are already in this business and the substitutes are gaining market share, taking away from the TV industry. There is worldwide competition, especially Disney is seen worldwide and has the biggest part of the market share. The economy is kind of slow, taxes are increased. There are some new entrants, but it is difficult to enter the market. Their advertising revenue is decreasing because most companies now want to advertise on social media like Facebook, Twitter, or even on Netflix more than on TV. There is piracy and illegal streaming, which would take away from VIACOM's revenues. And there are cultural changes and change in tastes. For example, teenagers or little kids do not watch the same shows anymore as they used to. Their strength opportunity strategy would be to make unique and popular TV shows accessible for online streaming. That would just make it easier for their customers to select different shows they want to watch, not pay for the whole package, and they could simply watch them everywhere they are. They do not need TV. And they could also expand into developing countries as soon as possible and help minimize the digital divide. That would be market penetration and development. For example, if a country in Africa just recently has made a big step towards developing and now has internet access in big parts of their country, VIACOM would want to be the first there to target the group and to make revenues there, so they're not always trying to catch up with their competitors. Their WO strategy would be entering a new market by obtaining rights to show sports events. That would be market development because they do not have sports channel yet, but it would be very important for them. For example, European soccer would be a very good thing to show since ESPN already has the rights to most other big sport events. They should also invest in technology and be the first to enter new markets. Similarly to what I talked about with the developing countries, they should really now keep up to date with technological developments and be the first to enter this market. Their ST strategy would be to conduct aggressive market research. By surveying changes in culture and taste, they would be able to create a new TV show that will correlate with the new preferences and tastes. However, that would be expensive and difficult to do, especially since they are so international. Their WT strategy would be creating their own streaming service to compete against substitutes. However, they're kind of lagging behind, and they would try to catch up with Netflix, which would be very difficult to do. They could develop apps and live reports in sports. That would be helpful, especially to increase customer loyalty and to kind of create a stronger brand image. And lastly, they should change their company leadership to a new dynamic creative team. All these issues come from them not being up to date with their customers' tastes and preferences and with technological developments. So the management really has to be a good example and has to go ahead and be creative, dynamic, and implement changes. Right now, we started in the United States. That's where our headquarters are. Our channels are available all over the world, especially Canada, Europe, and Australia. But most developed countries have access to VIACOM's channels. However, we would want to expand to the developing regions as well, and especially India, China, where we would have a great number of viewers, but we are not the #1 brand there yet. To do that, we would want to have local headquarters so we really understand the challenges we're facing, but also the opportunities, and so we could really know the preferences of the viewers. Our ultimate goal is to bring Viacom to everybody, no matter what age. We would want to increase our target age group to older people too, because they are the main viewership of TV shows right now. And we would want to bring Viacom to everybody regardless of their culture and try to fit their preferences and their tastes.